Hey guys, good evening. I hope you're having a beautiful week and I hope it started on a good note. I mean it started on a good note. I didn't work today. It's a Monday, so yeah, when you get Monday off, my lord, you are blessed because your Mondays are hectic. But anyway, I hope you're having a beautiful week. So this week I just want us to share something and I wanted us to talk about service, leadership, and greatness. How do those three words intertwine? What is the relationship between service and leadership and greatness? I couldn't help but just think of the scripture where the disciples were just arguing among themselves about who the greatest is, and probably they were a lot of interesting answers. Probably they were like, I think the greatest is maybe James because he walks closer to Jesus, and probably another one's like, nah bruv, I think it's Peter because Peter is always asking questions and he's always free with Jesus, so maybe that gives him a level of greatness. And probably so many interesting answers. I don't know what they were giving. And when we look at our generation now, there are so many ways in which greatness can be defined. But I think that Jesus' answer when he came into the scene during that argument, he kind of said something that still applies in whichever generation. What he had said could have seemed like it's for the disciples, but I think it still stands now. He then addresses the issue and he says, the greatest among you must be the servant of all. Like, what? Nah, bruv. Like, excuse me. I mean, when we talk of a servant, we are talking of, let's say, if you have a helper at home, a maid, you have a garden boy. We're talking about those people that, do the job at home that nobody else would want to do in the house, and so they just employ somebody that would do that job. And it seems like a low level thing, and then he says it's at that level that you're great. Like, nah bruv, I mean, come on, really? But I think he has a point because I'll give an example of Zambia, for instance. We just had our new president elected recently, His Excellency Hakainde Ichilema. And when we think of that man, and everybody's excited because, especially us young people, we're excited because we're saying Bali will fix it. He's gonna fix all the issues that we're having in Zambia. But do we really understand the kind of service that comes with Bali fixing it? Like, it's a lot of work, guys. It's a pile of work to fix the issues Zambia has. And we're excited. We're like, the man is making it. Finally, he's president. It comes with a lot of work, a lot of pressure, a lot of stuff. And you and I, we just see the glitter part of the title, like, he is the president. But we don't see what's behind the scenes, the work that he has to put in, the late nights, the tolerance he has to have for the people around him. Because there are certain people that will step on your toes if you're in such positions. There are certain people that will just, say the worst things, and you still have to wake up the next day and carry on like nothing happened. You still have to wake up the next day and handle a whole country. And sometimes, people have mood swings. Sometimes somebody wake up with mood swings and like, today I just want to be in my space. I want to be alone. He can't have that, because when he decides to be alone and have his space, the country will go, wayward. But he has to, even at the days that on the days that he feels like, I want to be alone, he has to sacrifice and just say, what, for the sake of the country, for the sake of the God. That's what leadership comes with. So when we talk about serving, he is serving the country. He is serving us. He has to ensure he does certain things. He has to run meetings. He has to delegate some work. He has to run errands. He has to run around countries. He has to do whatever it takes to ensure that our country gets back to the position at which it needs to be. And like you and I, we aspire for great positions. We aspire to be the leaders of tomorrow. We are the leaders of the future. And one thing we forget is that we think that the service of Hakainde begins when he gets in office. But no, for people to have even recognized him as a leader and voted him into power is because he started serving at the level at which he was. So for you and I to move to great positions, for you and I to be the leaders of tomorrow, it begins now. We don't have to wait for, until I aspire, until then I get registered, until I start campaigning, then I begin to serve so that people will see me. No, people, we are watching now. Everybody is watching now. And even then, back in the scriptures, Paul says that you are the written epistles. When he was talking to the people, he was telling them, some people are watching you already. You are the Bible they are watching. You are the guidance they have. And so for them to be able to trust you and say, we want Lydia to be the leader of tomorrow. We want Samuel to be the leader of tomorrow. We want Mark to be the leader of tomorrow. They should have started watching Sam now. They should have started watching Lydia now. They should have started watching Mark now, because they're watching everything that you're doing, so much that in a couple of years or a few years later, when you aspire for those positions, they'll say, you know what, we've been watching this person for the past 5 years, and in the past 5 years they've shown characteristics of a great leader. They've shown characteristics of a great person. And what are those characteristics? What are we talking about when we say a great person? We're talking about service. How do you serve people? When people come where you are, how do you address them? How do you help people? How do you advise people? How do you guide people? Some of us are even rude to just show directions to somebody. Somebody is literally just lost. Or they come to your office and they're just looking for somebody, and you just look on your computer like, you know, like you don't care, like, I don't know, and you continue what you're doing. Like, we need to start serving people now. Sometimes it takes you getting up from your seat and leading the person to, like, oh, this is the office of the person you're looking for. Just that little act of service, it speaks louder than words. It's these little actions, actually, little actions of greatness, little actions of service, sorry, that lead or direct people to understand that we are great leaders. It starts with sacrifice. How willing are you to sacrifice and say, you know what, we have gone to this place and people are hungry, but people don't have money. You know what, I have a little money in my pocket. Let me just buy something for everyone. Or, you know, you're traveling with somebody next to you and you notice that this person on the bus or on the train or on the plane is just, you know, okay, on the plane they offer food, but on the bus and then the train, and you realize that this person is starving, and they keep looking at you while you're eating that nice shawarma, while you're having that, you know, chicken and chips, those fries, that KFC, that McDonald's, that Burger King, and you act like you're not even seeing, like, you know what, this person knew they were traveling, why didn't they buy their own food? It's just that little sacrifice where you say, you know what, I don't know where this person is coming from, but I'm just gonna help out. I don't know if they have money and they're just failing to buy for themselves, or if they don't have, but I choose to be the kind person and just help out. It's those little acts of service. It's to the extent where Jesus begins to wash the servants, the disciples' feet. Like, excuse me, feet are just, I don't know about watching somebody's feet, but he decides to do that, not because, you know, he just wanted to be like, you know what, I'm addicted to washing feet. He wanted to show them that I'm willing to serve you to whatever extent, for you guys to see the love that I have for you people. So you and me, to be the leaders of tomorrow, to be the great people of tomorrow, we can't take love out of the equation. So how are you showing love? Because you can't serve without love. So all that I'm saying today is I have 4 main words: service, love, leadership, and greatness. And so this week I want you to meditate on these 4 words. See how your life is aligning with these 4 words. What are you doing today that aligns with service? What are you doing today that aligns with love? What are you doing today that aligns with leadership? What are you doing today that aligns with greatness? Maybe you're saying, you know what, Sheila, I don't even aspire to be in a leadership position. Whether you like it or not, you are a leader to somebody, some way, somehow. As long as you're going to be a parent, you're going to be a leader. As long as you're going to be a boss somewhere, you're going to be a leader. As long as you have younger siblings, you're going to be a leader, because they'll look up to you. So some way, somehow, wherever you find yourself, you are in a leadership position already. You just don't have that title yet crowned on your head. And if you really want that title, I can't emphasize enough that it begins now. Begin to serve now, because it's the people that you're serving that will recognize that greatness. It's the people that you're serving that will, you know, vote you into those great places. It's the people that you're serving. You're saying, maybe, you know, I'm going to be a great person, but I don't need people, because I'll be running businesses and I'm going to have these companies. People need to buy from your company. People need to work in your company. People need to, you know, recommend your company. At the end of the day, there is always people in the equation. So my message for you this week is service is very important. And what does service look like to you at this age, in this time, at the level where you are, and how are you using it? This week, I want you to just serve. Find a way to serve. Serve somebody, serve people. It could be at work, it could be at church, it could be something. Maybe you're saying, you know, I'm in a church, I've been in church a while, and I just sit in the pews. How can I really serve? Join something, be an usher, help with something. You could even serve with your money, serve with your finances, and say, you know what, I noticed that the toilets don't have water. I want to just give this money so that they can make toilets, or I want to give this money so that they can dig a borehole. Or I noticed that we don't have good curtains in the church, so I'm giving this money. You are serving. Somewhere you're just sacrificing, like, I could use this money to go on a vacation and just treat myself to like a whole week of luxury. But instead of going for a whole week, I'll go for 3 days. Then the remaining money that I was supposed to go for the other 3 days, let me sacrifice it for something. That's what I'm not saying stop having fun. I'm not saying stop caring about yourself. You are as important as everybody. The Bible says that he says that love your neighbor as you love yourself. So until you love yourself, it'll be hard to love somebody else. So yes, it starts with you. Serve you, but then let it not end on you. Let it not